folks, Phototrack here, and this is the second part of a multi-part series on connecting the MTL attachments grapple to the Kubota L2501 with the LA525 front end loader. And today we're going to connect the third function valve. We're going to connect the hydraulics and the electrical connections to it, and we're going to operate that. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a separate video explaining how we're going to run the rear remotes also off of that third function valve, which can save you a little bit of money, but let's just stick to the grapple for today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fire this up, take it outside, and we're going to remove the front end loader so that the valve is a lot easier to get to and a lot easier to hook up and wire up. So we'll be back in just a second with the front end loader off. All right, so here we are with the front end loader off. I've spun the tractor around, so I have some work. One of the things that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me was I was watching other guys who were trying to install the third function valve, and what they were doing was they were trying to manipulate everything around the loader. So let's just use a little common sense and get the loader off so we can swing wrenches and we can get the hoses off that we need to get off, hook back up, and we can run the electric. So I'm going to shoot over to the bench, and I'm going to take the valve and I'm going to put the hoses on the bench that I have to, instead of trying to put them on and swing wrenches while it's bolted up and in place. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're over on the bench. We have the valve. We have a 7/8 wrench. I don't need a hold back wrench because these adapters are screwed into the block all the way to the bulkhead. And the end of this right here is a flare. So it's 3/8 flare is going to go into this adapter here. This hose will be connected using I'm using Real Tough, which is a Hercules product. It is a Teflon paste, not Teflon tape. I see a lot of guys online using Teflon tape to make up hydraulic lines. That's an accident waiting to happen. So we're going to put a little bit of Teflon paste on here. We're going to connect this hose to the port on the left-hand side, which is labeled the P port. And then we're going to go over to the pull the hose off the Power Beyond port, and we're going to connect that over here. So first things first, let's connect this hose to the P port of the valve, and we'll be right back. So now that we've connected the line to the third function valve, we're back over at the tractor, and we need to find and locate the line for the Power Beyond function. And if you go to the loader valve, you'll see right here, there's a BY for Beyond. It's also marked with green paint, as you can see right there, but really I like going by this better. So take this line right here off with your 7/8 wrench. You're going to remove it from the valve here, and then underneath you're going to remove it from here at this location. You're going to get some oil on the ground, some transmission fluid or hydraulic fluid on the ground. I put a tray with some paper towels there, so hopefully that'll get it. So let me get that line off, and we'll take it over to the bench and get it connected to the third function valve. Okay, so now that this line has been removed, came off the valve here, and it came off the tractor block here, we are going to take it over to the bench, and we're going to go ahead and connect it to the, this is the T port over here on this side. So we're going to take this hose that we took off right here, and we're going to connect it right there to that flare adapter, and then we're going to bring it back over to the tractor. We're going to bolt it up, and we're going to connect it. So back in just a second. Okay, folks, so now that we've connected the Power Beyond hose to the T port of the third function valve, let's grab the valve and bring it over to the tractor, and we'll set it down for right now. Now, this bracket is the mounting bracket right here, okay? And we're going to mount that to this plate plate right here. This is a 17mm nut and bolt set. We're going to undo this and slide that bracket up underneath here and then tighten this back down so that this valve will be connected properly to the tractor. And then we can finish running our hoses and getting our electrical connection on. So I'll be back in just a second with the mount. All right, folks, so here we are. We're back. We now have the valve is attached here. I've already got a couple of problems with this, but they're minor problems and they're not really deal breakers. One, I don't like the way this vibrates around like that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing after I get it connected is drilling a hole probably right down in here and putting another bolt just to keep that from vibrating so much. The other thing I'm not too crazy about is how these are coming straight up in the air. I think 45s would have been a better idea. It's going to create a pretty wild loop, I think. But again, these are little things that can be taken care of later on down the line. For right now, the valve is loaded onto the tractor, and all I have left to do now is connect this hose to the Power Beyond on the block, and connect this hose right here back up to the BY port of the loader valve. So let's get these threads doped up and ready to go and get those hoses connected, and then we'll be able to go on to the next step, which is going to be hooking up the electrical part. So be back in just a second. Okay, so now we're all connected. We have the valve connected. We have the lines that are all tied in. As you can see down here, your Power Beyond valve is in, or the Power Beyond hose is in. And we're reconnected back up here, which is where we need to be. And you can see I kind of ran the hoses around so that these other hoses here would keep the new hoses that feed this valve out of the way, you know, from flopping around or getting hung up on stuff. So I kind of tucked them in so they'd be not flopping around in the breeze, getting hung up on anything. So the next part is going to be to take this ball off right here and put the controller knob on. We'll run the wire down to here, and we'll try to create a little space inside where the boot is to drop the wires down underneath here and then tie them in so that we can operate the valve. So I'm going to remove this ball, I'm going to put the new controller handle on, and we'll be right back. I have the knob here for the joystick and the electric button that operates the third function valve. This is a momentary switch that rocks back and forth. The cable and then the connector that will go into the valve itself and operate the electrical solenoids. This connects to the joystick rod with some sets. So we're going to go ahead and get this connected up, and then kind of show you what position I put it in and why I put it in that position. I think I want to operate it with my thumb. And just a quick side note that this valve is the only valve that's going to enable you to operate your loader up and down, pivot the grapple, which would also be up and down, and open the grapple all at the same time. So you'll be able to move the grapple up and down, you'll be able to pivot the grapple if you want to, and you'll be able to open it simultaneously. And this is the only valve that lets you do that. So let's get this connected and go on to the next step. So I'll be right back. Okay, here we are with the handle attached. The actuator button is up on top because that's what seems to work out the best for me. I ran the cable down and set it in underneath this boot and allowed it to drop out underneath. As you can see, I drilled holes here and here, here and here, here and here, so I can put zip ties in and run this cable up underneath this plastic boot. It's really flexible, it comes apart. I undid these two screws right here in order to take the valve off so I could get the drill inside there and do it. So I'm going to cut this wire and we're going to splice it, and we're going to do a neat connection here with some electric loom protector, and then run the line underneath the dashboard over to the fuse box. So I'm going to get this run and hooked up, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so here we go. I have the controller with the switches here. I ran the line underneath this loom, or put this loom over the top of it so it neatens that up pretty good. Wire come down into this boot here behind this plastic plate right here with zip ties holding it here, here, underneath the plate, plenty of room, here, okay. I didn't run it up this way because of this linkage here. So, and I drilled a small hole to bring this out here. This will plug in to the solenoid valve, and then the red power line that's in that solenoid valve is going to go back down through this hole here. There'll be a piece of wire loom that goes over this. It'll come in behind this cable tie, and then it'll take a straight shot right behind here underneath this plate. Let me see if I can get in here and keep it focused. Right this area here between the valve and the plate, there's a straight shot that'll take me, let me get down a little bit, that will take me right across and into this dashboard, underneath the dashboard, and tie right in to the fuse panel. So that's what we've got. This is where I'm sitting right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 screws in here to connect this valve back up, and then we're good to go. So hang on, we're almost done. Okay, so here we are. If I come around to this angle, you can see the red wire is running parallel to the thumb switch or rocker switch. It runs underneath there, and it comes out here alongside of that. I'm going to take some loom and protect that with a little bit of that plastic protectant that I have, and then you can see that the wire comes out right there. Okay, and when I route that, we're going to run it right in between that opening right there. And you'll see that it'll go right in between that plate and valve. So that's where this step comes in. Let's take it out and get it going on the other side. So once we get it over to the other side, we can hook it up to the fuse panel. So hang on, be right back. All right, folks, here we are. And this is really kind of the end of it as far as the solenoid valve goes. So right here is where I ran I protected the power wire. Like I said, I was going to run it between the plate and the valve. And if you come over to this angle, you can see where it goes right into the plastic cowling. And there's plenty of space underneath there to run the wire. If you can see, well, you really can't from this angle, but right in this area here, there's a bolt. And if you undo the bolt, this piece of plastic really opens up real good. And I fished the wire down, came across here. All right, there we go. Came across here. I know you can't see it too well, but we came down. I put in that fuse that came with the fuse pigtail and punched it into this circuit here. It says 10 amp work light on the circuit box. And what I did was I undid these 2 screws, pulled this off, pulled out that fuse because that fuse is powered by the ignition. And I cut into the back of that. Now, that's going to void your warranty, so if you're worried about that kind of thing, don't do it. But I cut in the back of that. I replaced that 10 amp fuse with a 15 amp fuse, and then the secondary fuse that comes off the back of that circuit, so it's double fused. is a 7.5 amp fuse. So this solenoid is protected by that 7.5 amp fuse, and it's run by the key instead of powered directly to the battery. So that's pretty much the installation on that valve. We're going to come back in just a second. I'm going to reconnect the loader. I'm going to clean up the work area here a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and connect the hoses and route the hoses for the grapple, and then we'll go ahead and test it out, and we'll wrap this video up. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is the last part, is connecting the hoses to the valve, and this bracket here, right here, that comes with these hoses is going to connect right here. I have to undo these 2 bolts, put that bracket in, and then run the hoses along here, and then we're going to plug them into the solenoid valve. So let me get that hooked up, and we'll wind this video up. So be right back. All right, folks, here we are, and this is the end of the build. So there's the grapple. We have it on. You can see that I ran the lines that come with the grapple across the reinforcing bar and zip tied them. Lines come up and onto the bracket that comes with the kit. Again, this kit is made for the 2501, so it bolted right to the anti-twist cross member of the loader arm, and then we followed the hoses right along the loader arm. I zip tied them there's an existing hole in the reinforcing plate that went through. I zip tied it to another hose on the piston that comes across to lift the arm, and then to the basket. And then, as you can see, there's this loop here. Remember, if you were paying attention at the beginning, I was talking about maybe changing these adapters out to 45-degree angle to avoid this twist here. But I now, while I see the whole thing together, figure out why they use straight adapters. If I was to put the 45-degree adapters on, when the lift arm came up, it would interfere or chafe on the hydraulic line. So that's it. This is done. It is complete. I'm going to start it up and purge the lines out, and let's go on out and have some fun with this, okay? We'll see you outside. Okay, folks, here we are, the moment of truth. We have the machine out around the back now. I'm going to start it up. I'm going to function the loader and the grapple. We're going to raise and lower. We're going to pivot, and we're going to open and close. So let's give it a shot and show you what we got going here. All right, let's raise the loader. Pivot the grapple. There's down and up. There's open and close. Now we can close and pivot while we're closing. We can pivot and raise. We can open and lower. We can lower the grapple and pivot up and down. And the grapple will drop right down to almost 90 degrees to pick up anything you have on the ground. All right, folks, so that's a wrap on this video. Send me your comments. Let me know what you got. Give me any thoughts that you have on your mind, negatives and pluses. I like to hear it all. Thanks for watching. Good luck and Godspeed. Boatertrack out.